Hi, everyone. My name is Victoria. I am a kinesiologist here at Cambridge Cardiac Care Center, and today we are going to discuss your emotional well-being. So, by the end of this session, you will be able to learn more about how stress affects your health and also learn some tips to help manage or cope with stress. Before we get into the lecture, I'm just going to show you a quick video that's put on by Cardiac College's Thrive program that talks about managing depression, stress, and burnout.
Taking care of yourself with a chronic physical condition like heart disease or diabetes can affect you mentally and emotionally. It can feel like a burden you carry everywhere you go. This weekly challenge talks about these common feelings and provides techniques to help you feel in charge of your health. You are more than this disease, and it's possible to not just live, but thrive. Research says that depression is common in people living with heart disease or diabetes. Many people also struggle with stress. And lastly, there is the feeling of burnout. This video will address these conditions one at a time because understanding them is a huge part of dealing with them. Depression is a feeling of sadness, hopelessness, and no longer enjoying the things you used to. These feelings can be constant and last for a long time. You might start feeling this way after a sudden event, such as a death in the family or having a heart attack. It can also come from long-term issues with money, work, relationships, or your health. Talking to your doctor is a great start. Your doctor can help you make sense of what you're feeling. They will help you find a psychologist or a psychiatrist, or they might suggest medicine. You can learn coping strategies such as labeling your feelings. This strategy uses specific words to describe how you feel, such as being frustrated, angry, or hopeless, instead of just saying, "I'm in a bad mood." Stress is a state of mental strain that puts pressure on your body. Like depression, it can come from a single major event or from a long list of everyday factors. It's okay to be busy and have a lot going on, but if the pressure of doing all those things overwhelms you, there's a problem. If you feel stressed, try making your own health and well-being a priority. Learn to say no to requests that don't fit your priorities, and ask for help from others when you feel overwhelmed. You can relieve stress with activities like exercise, meditation, or belly breathing. It might seem odd that you can manage outside stressors just by breathing differently, but try it, and you might be amazed. There will always be things you can't change, but you can build your ability to handle them. Burnout is when you grow tired or bored of having to manage your disease. For example, if you have diabetes, the daily grind of constantly checking blood sugars, worrying about what you eat, and timing your medicines can seem like a full-time job. One way to relieve these feelings is to practice self-compassion. This means you have concern and sympathy for yourself. Most people are very kind and supportive of their friends and loved ones, so treat yourself the same way. Be warm and understanding toward yourself when you don't feel good enough. You might be dealing with depression, stress, and burnout all at once. Or they might come and go as you live your life. Remember, you are not alone. The first step is to reach out to someone you trust and share with them how you are feeling. Make an action plan to get started with small changes and progress from there. Remember, a small change to feel better is a big step closer to better health.
Okay, so before we get into the lecture a little bit more, just a couple of points about how we can work well together. I'd just like to remind everyone to make sure that you're treating everyone with respect. This discussion about your mental health and your emotional well-being, it's a sensitive discussion for some. So I just like to make sure that we're all on the same page when we have this conversation. If anybody ever decided to share anything in the group setting, just want to ensure that we're treating everyone with respect. So, talking a little bit about your emotional well being, I don't think I have to tell any cardiac patients this, but living through a cardiac event can be very stressful. It can be overwhelming. It can be a very significant point in your life for you and your loved ones. The experience itself can be stressful, all the testing that you go through, the diagnosis and the treatments. But cardiac rehab is a time to work on both your physical health and your emotional health. So typically we focus on physical health, but that doesn't mean your emotional health is not equally important because it certainly is. There are risks of stress. This list is actually a short list, so it's not exhaustive. One risk of stress is disturbed sleep. And I would typically ask the patients in the class, has anybody ever had where they try to lie down and go to bed at night, and all of a sudden you start thinking about every person you've ever met, every conversation you've ever had, and everything that's crossed your mind? Disturbed sleep is certainly something that does occur when we experience more stress. You may feel like you have a depressed mood, you may be frustrated or anxious. We're not normally our best selves when we're stressed out, and your family or loved ones may be the ones to point that out. And sometimes cardiac patients can feel like they're losing a sense of control over their life. It can be a lot happening at once, all of these different changes. You maybe haven't seen your doctor in a few years, and now you're seeing your doctor 2 times per week. Maybe you only took one medication before, and now you're taking 10 medications. So there can be a lot of change at once, and that can certainly be very overwhelming. We know that stress has a role in different types of chronic diseases, so heart disease, stroke, arthritis, and diabetes. So, of course, we want to do our best to manage stress in the best way that we can, but that is a lot easier said than done. So, stress affects your body in a few different ways. So, it affects your body physically, and it also affects your brain or your mind emotionally. And if I was doing this lecture in front of the class, I would ask the patients to offer up some answers on how does stress affect you physically? What does your body do when you're stressed? Because this will look different from person to person. And on the slide here, there are some common answers. So heart pounding, dizziness, dry mouth, fidgeting, back pain, muscle tension, stomach ache, lasting illness, weakness, sweating, headaches, shortness of breath, GI issues, high blood pressure, weight loss or gain, and insomnia. I always like to joke, if you have all of these at the same time, I am sorry. That would be a lot at once. But the reason I show you this is because I want you to know what your physical manifestations of stress are. What happens to your body when you are stressed? Again, this is going to be different from person to person. I know with myself personally, I struggle with a lot of muscle tension in my neck. My neck seizes up really tight, and that's usually a telltale sign that I am stressed about something. So, the purpose of this is just to get you thinking more about what happens to you when you're stressed. The reason I want you to know this is because when you are feeling stressed and these symptoms come on, let's say it's neck pain, for example, now we know, okay, we're stressed out, we got to pump the brakes. What are we going to do next? But the first step is acknowledging that you're stressed and identifying that, not just letting it simmer and then one day you feel like you're going to blow up all at once. Okay, so think about how stress affects your body physically. Then we know that stress also affects you emotionally. So, same idea. If I was doing this lecture live in front of the class, I would ask you, how do you feel when you're stressed, right? So, moving away from the physical side, how do you feel emotionally when you're stressed? Some common answers may include you might feel depressed, suspicious, anxious, helpless, fatigued, or bored. Some people just get really exhausted or really bored or struggle with burnout. loneliness, nervousness, confusion, worry, and negative thoughts and attitudes. So I can't do this or I can't do that, all these things that we tell ourselves internally, but no one else would ever say about us. So we can really be our own worst critic. I think we are all guilty of that from time to time. And sometimes we kind of, get in our head that way. So certainly something to think about. I want you to know, what are your emotional manifestations of stress? How do you feel when you're stressed? Again, coupled with the physical effects, that way you can kind of know exactly when you're stressed out. This is what your body does, and what are we going to do next? There are some barriers to lowering stress. If we didn't have barriers or things that got in our way, we'd all probably be pretty peachy keen all the time. So that's certainly not the case. Lack of time is a big one. I understand many of you have lives outside of cardiac rehab, believe it or not, I do as well. So lack of time is a big one. Sometimes we can feel like we're being pulled in many different directions. Energy level is a really big one, especially after a cardiac event. Many patients struggle with energy and fatigue after their cardiac event, and we do hope to see some improvements there throughout the cardiac rehab program. Your mood, chronic pain. So some people may have been in a vehicle accident or struggle with arthritis or previous sport injuries. Pain can certainly get in the way. Having a work-life balance if you're working. Finances, of course, financial situations can be stressful, and any crises or issues with your loved ones, your family, or friends, of course, is also a barrier. So, what are we going to do? So, these are a couple of general tips for managing stress. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that this is going to solve all of your problems because it may not be enough for everyone. If you are struggling with chronic debilitating stress and you feel like you don't have a hold on it really nicely, I would encourage you to reach out to your cardiac rehab team or your family doctor. That way you can discuss further options. So, by meeting with your family doctor, they may be able to refer you to other counseling services or talk therapies or medications as appropriate as well. So, just something to think about. If you're not quite there yet, there are a few things that you can try. And I don't want you to knock it before you try it. So you don't know that, you hate meditating if you haven't tried it. So just a couple of things to think about. Self-compassion is a big one. So the Thrive video at the beginning of this session discussed it a little bit. This means being nice to yourself, right? Forgiving yourself. I'm sure most of you have heard of the golden rule to treat others the way you want to be treated. I always tell the patients to treat yourself the way you treat others because all the patients I've known and grown to know in the cardiac rehab program are all very nice people. And again, like I said earlier, we can be our own worst critics. So really be nice to yourself. Okay. Mindfulness or meditation is also a great option. So, practicing being in the moment and not judging your emotions. There are a lot of free, great resources on YouTube as well. So, you could look up like a mindfulness exercise to have somebody lead you through that. Another resource that is available to you throughout your cardiac rehab program is the stress management lecture that takes place during Education Week. That lecture also gives many tips on managing stress and coping that way. Social supports, so leaning on your loved ones, your family, or your friends, preferably not the ones that stress you out, right? Maybe not those ones, but the ones that can offer you support and reaching out and connecting with them when you're more stressed. So whether or not that's just having a conversation, it might just be, going for a coffee and discussing other things. So leaning on your loved ones. And then, of course, if they are kind of in need of a hand, being that shoulder for them to lean on as well. Having a sense of humor is also a good tip. I don't think laughter is as strong as your medication. Take your medication, but it is a good tip as well. So, trying to make light of the best situation, trying to enjoy your cardiac rehab program and enjoy the exercise that you're doing, that is going to make you more likely to be adherent, right? If you hate coming to cardiac rehab class, it's going to be a long 4 months. So, find a way to make it fun, talk to other patients in the class, make friends, try to have a good time. If you are enjoying yourself, it's more likely that it's going to go by a lot smoother and you might actually enjoy yourself. So trying to make fun and, light of that is important. And then we know that exercise is really great for managing stress as well. It's when we're really stressed out that we don't want to go for that walk, for example. When we're stressed out, going for that walk or doing that workout becomes so much more important. And I know how difficult it can be. I've had that myself personally, where I may have had a long day and I don't want to go on my walk. And as soon as I do my walk and I'm all done, I go, I'm so glad I did that. I feel a lot better. So, exercise is a powerful tool for both your physical health and your mental health. If you are diagnosed with anxiety or depression, exercise cannot cure anxiety or depression alone, but it is an effective additional therapy that many healthcare practitioners are actually trying to prescribe on top of traditional therapy. So, for example, more and more doctors are prescribing exercise. They're telling you, I want you to go on a walk 5 days a week for 30 minutes. So, we know that exercise has powerful effects on the mind. You might feel kind of sweaty when you're doing it, but when you're done, those endorphins are released and it feels pretty good. So even when you don't want to, even when you're stressed, that exercise becomes so much more important. And then you could also slow down your breathing or try a breathing exercise. There's just a simple one here on the slide. So, what you could do is maybe before you go to bed tonight, you could sit or lie flat in a comfortable position. You're going to put one hand on your belly and the other on your chest. Then, what you're going to do is you're going to breathe deeply through your nose, and you should be feeling your belly rise and your chest should remain flat. And then you're going to breathe out or exhale through pursed lips. So if anybody knows how to whistle, just pretend that's kind of the lip pattern that you use. You're going to breathe out through those pursed lips. If you don't know how to whistle, again, like I said, just pretend. You could do this about 5 times. Breathing exercises are effective for stress management because when you slow down your breathing, you also slow down your heart rate. And one of those physical manifestations of stress that we discussed earlier is a, increase in heart rate or a faster heart rate. So by slowing down your breathing, you're slowing down that heart rate and it can actually go a long way. So trying a breathing exercise is a great tool as well if you haven't already. And there's many that are available to you on the internet and through other resources. Okay, so your goal is to try one new thing this week to manage your stress. So I want this to challenge you. It can be any of the things that we discussed. It could be trying a breathing exercise. It could be connecting with a family member or a friend. It could be making yourself do that workout even when you really don't want to. It could be meditation. It could be yoga, right? A bunch of different things that we had discussed today. And again, the purpose of this lecture is just to give you some more general stress management techniques. When we are stressed, our body wants to do the less productive behaviors, right? Some people may want to have that extra drink or get that greasy burger on the way home or have an extra smoke, those types of things. Those are the things that we would want to really work on avoiding, right? So when you're stressed out, it's about trying to implement these more productive behaviors most often to help you manage your stress. So again, just something to think about. Don't be so hard on yourself and do take it one day at a time. Just kind of recapping what we discussed today. So we talked about how stress affects your health and some general tips for managing stress. I hope you were able to take something new away from today's discussion. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a good day.